Hi, this is Josh Weidman. Thanks for joining me today for today's REI 360 training. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. A lot of times I'll do a whiteboard training and go over different aspects of a real estate transaction or different investment strategies. But today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the real estate or the REI 360 Real Estate Profit Maximizer software, and I'm going to use one of the deals that I'm currently working on as an example of how the software works and how you can implement it into your own business. So about a month ago, I got a phone call from a prospective seller. He went to my website. He was interested in getting an offer on a property, and really at that time he was most interested in just getting some information about the property. So he called me up, told me a little bit about the house, why it was selling, went through the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, and there were some red flags during our conversation that I wasn't really comfortable with. In this instance, he was in the process of transferring the deed from his mother's name to his name, found out that his mother was still alive, and it just, some things didn't quite add up. So I wasn't really aggressive with pursuing the house. In any case, during the course of this initial conversation, I was able to do some research and find that, I told him, I said, look, I can pay you somewhere between $40,000 and $60,000 for the property. Now, this property, as I did some research, I found that generally this 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, or 1.5-bath property, other houses in that area, similar houses that have been rehabbed, are selling anywhere from $115,000 to $155,000. So I backed out my 65% of ARV minus my estimated construction, and that's kind of where we came up with the number. So in any case, 2 weeks later he called me up. He'd recorded the deed, and he said, look, Josh, it was a Tuesday. He said, look, Josh, I met with a couple of real estate agents. I'm thinking about listing the property, but I'd rather have a cash offer. Are you interested in coming out and give me an offer? Of course, my answer was yes. Went out there on the Wednesday, went through the property, took some pictures, and started my evaluation. Now, this isn't the best picture to start this out with. We'll start from the front here, but these are the pictures that I took at the property. As we go through here, you can see this is the front of the house, the foyer, bathroom. As you can see from the pictures, the property is not in terrible shape, but this is what I call my typical grandma house. It certainly would qualify for conventional financing. Everything worked, was in okay condition, certainly livable condition. However, definitely not updated either. This is a finished basement. The heater needed to be replaced. Hot water heater seemed to be in good condition. The electrical throughout the house was in poor condition and needed to be replaced. And there was 1.5 baths that need to be replaced. So as I'm going through it, I looked at it and said, okay, there's some construction that needs to be done here. As part of my evaluation, before going out to the property, I wanted to tie down a strong after repair value so that I could make a definitive offer on this property. And that process, I started by looking at a list of all of the properties that were currently on the market. Now, Philadelphia being a metropolitan neighborhood or metropolitan city, a couple blocks can mean the difference of several $100,000. So I went onto my local MLS, and my search was for any properties that were currently listed for sale that were in 3/10, same number of bedrooms and bathrooms as my subject property, and also within 3/10 of a mile from the house. As I looked through here, what I saw was a bunch of things. Number one, I've got a pretty broad price range, starting in the 70s. Here's one at 70,000 essentially. And the prices go up from there, but they also cap out. Let's see here. We've got sales prices at 123, 129, 130, 135, all the way up to $165,000. And this is in the same vicinity of my subject property. So now I know, number one, what people think that they can get for their houses. In addition, I'm able to go through and take a look at the pictures, see what my competition is going to be when I put this house on the market, so that I just at least have an idea of where the price point's going to be the likely at least listing price point is going to be, and what what other people think the market looks like. Second thing I'm taking a look at are the recent sales, and this is really a lot more important because the recent sales are what people actually pay for properties. In this case, I've got quite a range, 47.5 on the low end, all the way up to there's one for 148, all the way to thought I saw one here for, where are we going here? 153. Okay, I mean that's a pretty broad range, over $100,000 in difference. Now what we know from this is, number one, on the lower end, they're probably investor sales. That's likely. The other thing that we know is that we have rehab properties that are selling. If you look through here at some of the pictures, this is obviously a rehab. On the higher end, if you go through some of the pictures in their system for the pictures of the higher priced properties, they are complete rehabs and they're very beautiful. This is going to dictate for me what kind of work I need to do to get to that top dollar. By looking at these recent sales, I can also see how long the property, I should expect the property to be sitting on the market. If in this case, here's we got 109, 109.5, sold, went under contract in 24 days. 114.9, went under contract in 39 days. 119.9, 10 days. 122.5, 180 days. That I really don't want to be in that range. But then we go down here to these real high end, these two units on the higher end of the price range. This one, 71 days. This one, 48 days. That's pretty good. So there is a demand for the rehab properties in this neighborhood. We also know that the days on market are pretty good. Also know that the kind of construction. Then what I did was I went back and did a vicinity search. Here's the subject property, and I constrained my search to properties that were very like the one that I was considering investing in. In as much as they're the same layout, almost the same square footage, they sold with similar amenities, and what I found was that this is my subject property right here. We've got essentially the same square footage here, anywhere from 126 to 155,000, and within that range, I can expect my resale. Another thing that we're going to consider is any seller's assist, that it's not going to be reflected in this sale amount, but it certainly is going to affect my bottom line. In doing a little bit of research on that, what I found was that the seller's assist varies a little bit. It's going to vary anywhere from $3,500 up to $6,500. So, to be conservative for my my analysis, what I took what I took for my analysis was that my after repair value was going to be $125,000, and we're going to include a $5,000 seller assist. Now you might be asking yourself, well, why, Josh, would you say, why are you using $125,000 when that was the lowest of the comparable sales that you chose to use as an analysis? Well, I'd rather be on the low end. I'd rather be conservative and be pleasantly surprised at closing with more money in my pocket than I anticipated. So, all right, I'm gonna log in now to the REI 360 site so that we can go through our analysis and take a look at what kind of profit is in this deal. All right, first thing I'm going to do is go to the tools and then click on our profit maximizer right there. All right, as you can see here at the bottom, I already went through this once, but I'm going to do it again. So we're going to start new maximizer software. Subject property, 1990 Elston Street. Closing date. In this case, I'm closing tomorrow. Estimated resale date. Now, I'm being a little bit, I know in this case, we have we've got a 6-month loan that's going to be involved in the sale. So in this case, what I did was I'm just putting this out 6 months. This is when the loan is due. And then here we go. Purchase price. I put the property under contract for $52,500, and I had to add in there. I threw in to close the deal that I was going to cover the seller's transfer and recordation costs. So it ended up being $53,550 as our purchase price. Current value, based on the analysis that we looked at, I'd say is about $75,000. And the after repair value, we said $125,000. Okay. Now we'll go to the next step. All right, estimated loan amount. In this case, what are we doing here? All right, 65%. Okay. Our interest here, in the case of this loan, it was 10% with no points. Legal fees, we had a doc preparation fee that was $350. Appraisal and inspection fees, again, $350. Credit report, none of that. Wire and transfer fee, $50, that's right. Processing and closing, this is $340. Miscellaneous lender fees, $0. Prepaid insurance, $850. Prepaid taxes. The taxes on this property are $2,400, and we are prepaying half of the year, so that's going to be $1,200. And now we're going to go to the next step. In this step, we're able now to go through a construction breakdown of the property. If you recall, this is a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom house. We're going to put in 2 vanities and 2 toilets, 1 tub, 2 mirrors, and 2 lights. Our budget there for the bathroom, $1,970. Cabinets, because we're doing this for resale, I'm upping my cabinet budget just a little bit. We've got 150 square feet of flooring. The oven, $550. Refrigerator, $650. Again, you can see I'm making the adjustments as need be, and I've gone through this, as I said before. I just want to make sure that I am overestimating any kind of expenses that I'm going to be having on the property. Hardware, garbage disposal, and lighting. We are going to be doing pendant lights and recessed lighting here, so I'm budgeting for a little bit more there. Windows and doors. Well, it just so happens that the front door and the back door of the property were recently replaced by the owner, and they're very nice doors, so we're not even going to touch the doors. The windows, however, I'm going to be replacing the glass block windows in the kitchen with a large sliding window, and there's one window in the dining room that needs to be replaced. I just so happened to get an estimate on this, and it turned out to be $950 for that. Total budget $950 there. Walls and paint, I know that I am going to have 50 sheets of drywall. That's going to include re-sheetrocking the basement, as well as doing some work in the kitchen, framing and things of that sort. Paint throughout the house. The property is going to be 1,400 square feet of painting. Moldings, framing. In this case, I know that I'm going to have one expense of $1,500 for all of the framing throughout. There's no insulation. I'm going to be upgrading the heating system. Now, electrical upgrade. I'm replacing the electric box and all of the wiring throughout the house. I know the cost there is $4,000. Now, this is very nice. Okay. Now in the flooring section, I'm putting carpeting down the steps in the hallway and into the finished basement. So I'm going to be installing carpet from the basically the kitchen entrance to the basement all the way throughout the living area. This is approximately 500 square feet. Here we have a budget for $2.25. That's going to be your higher end, like Berber carpeting, or some of the other things on the market. So I'll put that in there as my estimate. I know that it's probably going to be less than that. The hardwood floors throughout the house are in really excellent condition, but they certainly need to be refinished. So I also know that my cost here is $1,850. Put that in. Then tiling the floors. I'm going to put in tile work in the kitchen and the bathroom. Let's see here. If we go back up to the kitchen, nope, kitchen floor. It's already accounted for, so I don't even have to look at that. But in the tile work in the kitchen in the two bathrooms, that's going to be about 170 square feet. There's my budget there. Now, structural work. There's really nothing structural that we're going to be doing to this property. We've already accounted for some framing, but everything else looks good. Lighting throughout the house. Again, the light covers and light switches and lights. I'm going to be replacing all of the lights throughout the property with dome lights, except in the bedrooms and one in the living room. So here I've got 4 ceiling fans, and I've got 5 dome lights. We go into the roofing and siding. I'm going to be replacing the flat roof here. This price of $3,000 I know is incorrect. I know it's $1,800 right now, but your contractor is going to have different prices and things like that. And the nice thing about the software is that you can change this stuff as you go along. Exterior landscaping, I'm just going to put I'm going to account for $1,000 in general landscaping, and I'll just put that here. Plants and flowers. There's not a whole lot to landscape, but it's good for me to have that in the budget. So now I'm going to go to step 4. All right, seller's concession. I'm going to play with this a little bit. Let's say it's 5%, 4%. Okay, yeah. We considered a $5,000 seller's concession, so that's what we got. Realtor's commission. Most places it's going to be 6%. I have a deal with my agent that he will do this for 1.5%. That gives me the option to just keep my costs low. So I'm going to have 4.5% here, 3% to the buyer's broker, and then an additional 1.5% to my listing agent. Miscellaneous closing costs, we're going to have transfer and recordation taxes of 2%. Okay, so we're going to go to step 5. Now let's talk about holding costs. These are the other expenses that a lot of times are not accounted for, but they're real costs. Over a 6-month period, I know that I'm probably going to spend about $100 a month on the gas, on the electric, probably about $25 a month. So that's $150, but we go 25. Water is going to be about $50 a month. And as we go through here, property tax is going to be 0. Insurance prepaid. Let's see here. We're going to go to other expenses. I'm just going to put $500 in there just so that we have it. And then we finish. Now, I'm going to save this, and the beautiful thing that we can do here is we go back to Profit Maximizer, and I'm going to reopen this, click through. What we find here, if we print this, all right, give me 1 minute here. I'm going to pull up. Okay, I'm going to pull up this file. This gives us an overview of the project. All of our profit and loss. We can go over all of this stuff and get all the way to the bottom. And you can see here, this, even with my conservative estimates, I've got an estimated profit of $21,474.02. I know going into this project, I'm going to make money. If we've got over my estimated sales price was conservative, I was aggressive on my construction numbers, and at the end of the day, there's money in there. This is a really great tool that I use in my business. We've designed it and implemented it, and it's been really, and it's really been an excellent way to be able to evaluate properties and know where your expenses are going to be. So this is the end of our training. I'm going to closing tomorrow on this property. I'll give you updates on throughout the project. I'm going to be using this as a training tool, but I want to thank everybody for joining us on today's training, and I wish you all the best of luck in your real estate investing.